Across the Atlantic, two men separated by time zones, accents, and wildly different snack preferences join forces. Not for glory, not for fame, but for something far more noble, a live stream. This is not just any live stream. No, this is Hold My Net. And so, dear viewer, you are not here to be entertained. You are here to be transformed or mildly amused. Either is fine. From the United States, Ty, a man fueled by questions, koi food, and the occasional button he probably shouldn't press. And across the great pond, literal pond, Aaron. From Humber Koi, steady, informed, British. Together they are not hosts. No, they are guides. They'll bring you experts. They'll bring you insight. They may even bring you slightly awkward pauses as someone forgets to unmute their mic. Each month, the current brings with it a new guest, a traveler of the koi world, a bearer of insight, experience, perhaps even a few well-earned scars. Together, we cast our nets wide, not to catch but to understand, to pull up the deep things, the overlooked, the misunderstood. But that's the point, isn't it? This isn't scripted. This isn't rehearsed. This is the koi world, raw, real, and occasionally full of pond sludge. Each month they cast their net, not to trap but to explore, to gather wisdom from the brightest minds in koi keeping, and to share it with you, the brave viewer who could be watching literally anything else right now. So whether you're here to learn, to laugh, or because you thought this was a cooking stream, welcome. You've entered the koi pit. You've tuned in to Hold My Net. Let's just hope Ty remembered to hit the go live button this time. But if not, that's what Aaron's for.
Well, welcome to Hold My Net, the show where we know that koi communities are trying to figure out a clever tagline. Something about koi communities and us all coming together. Let's do that. So, anyways, so we have a special guest today. We have Katey with us, who has... Well, I'll let her tell you some more about herself, but she's been or is currently a koi judge. She's been pretty heavily involved with the Idaho koi scene and the koi club they have up there in Boise. But anyways, Katey, welcome to our show. And can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Sure. Hey, thank you for having me on, Ty and Aaron. It's really fun to know that, Ty, you live down south of where I live by just a couple inches on the map, as Aaron says. And yeah, this is the Northwest, and we have koi up here. Not a lot of people really know that we exist up here. We're kind of remote, and it's nice to know somebody kind of not too far away. And yeah, I've been in the koi hobby for about 38 years now. And I started when I was young. I built my first pond when my parents went away on vacation. They came back and found a huge pond dug in their backyard, and I just took off from there. That pond's still going too. But I joined the koi club. Life happened. I was joining in 1993, and then I went off to see the world. And when I came back, it was still there. And I've been pretty much every board position on the club manifest, and I've enjoyed every minute of it and met great people. And yeah, just recently finished my judgeship, and so I'm now a certified judge with the AKJA, American Koi Judges Association, and it's been a really great ride. Koi has taken me far.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you were telling me that you went and you judged the European show not too long ago.
I did. So I made friends. I always love to help at the koi show. So I was part of the benching team at all the koi shows last 10 years. And I started making friends with the judges. And one of our first judges I remember working with is a great guy named Larry Gill. And Larry was very encouraging. And I told him I wanted to be a koi judge, and he was always, kind of in my corner, and I really appreciated that. So when I started the judging program nearing the end, he kind of suggested and helped me find a way to get to Amsterdam this last summer. So it was a really fun trip to go over and judge the All European Koi Show in Oldenzaal.
Wow.
That's not far from me, that.
Really? Have you been to the show?
Nope. I was.
Isn't it a ferry right away?
Yeah, so I live in a harbour where there's a ferry directly to Amsterdam. It's just an overnight ferry. But it was on the same weekend as so Paul Cunningham, who just joined the chat, he runs the Northeast Koi Show, and I was filming with the family at his. So
yeah,
one that I will definitely be attending one day because I've seen pictures of it and it's massive.
Yeah, in Europe, it's really, I'm going to say, an impressive deal. The whole town seems to take the week off for the Koi Show. And it's such a big community event. And I just really enjoy seeing, people come together to support this hobby. And that was just blew me away. It was really great. And people were just great friends. And yeah, they just made it into a town celebration. It was really great.
Wow. No, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around what that must be like, having such a huge community coming together around koi, which I think is interesting, right? In contrast to where I live or where you live, where our koi communities are much smaller, I think.
Yeah.
They're a
We're
little more
wishing the town
close-knit.
would take the week off and come help us, right? That seems to be the song of a lot of koi clubs around the United States, is that it's about the same 10 people that end up doing almost everything in the club. But I mean, we stick together, we have fun. And I think it's just a really great way to meet people and help people and, who enjoy the same thing you enjoy. So, but yeah, the town, that was crazy. We always want more volunteers. So if anybody's watching in the Idaho area, come on and volunteer to help us with the Koi Show. It's really fun.
Well, when do you guys usually start setting up for it?
So the show is on Saturday. So we start probably around Tuesday and Wednesday setting up tanks. We already have some tanks in place at the show site right now. And our show's not huge, but we usually have, over 100 fish shown in our show, 100, 120. And we are using hard-sided tanks for the first time this year. Our club finally purchased the hard-sided tank, so we're excited about that.
Wow.
We're setting up, and it's going to take a lot less time, I hope, this year because of the hard-sided tanks. But we start setting them up, air and fill with water on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we're making sure the water's all conditioned. We've got to make sure everything runs right. Then we start bringing the fish in on Friday. So, and then we have a lot of people who travel. So we have vendors who come from all over the United States. We had TriStar Koi from Tennessee come last year, and R&R Koi from California come up. And then we're having Hakuna Matata Koi also as our third wet vendor coming up from Arizona. And then we also have Kotz Koi, and they're one of the best Northwest dealers. And they've been a really big supporter of our show for many years.
I have a couple of Kotz Koi. I have a couple of their fish in my pond.
Oh, great. Yeah. Yeah, they have a really good auction, and they get some very nice fish. They'll find what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So I am so curious because I know some of the history of like my own koi club and kind of where it started and how it came about. But I am very curious how that happened in Idaho, because it sounds like you've been a part of the club, maybe not from the day one, but since its inception towards the beginning.
Yeah, fairly long time. There's a couple people that most people think of as, the people who started the club, and one of those is Sat Chimonis. he started the club with a friend of ours, Sue, and she has since passed, unfortunately. But Sot is keep going. He's our treasurer this year again. So Sot started the club, and it was in a time of the country where I think there was a lot of people who were really enchanted by koi. In the 90s, seems like every place that could start this hobby started. And a lot of people were really interested in Idaho. And I think we had over 100 members in the mid 90s in our koi club. And it was big shows, really great participation. The clubs were everywhere too. There was a lot of clubs in the Northwest. And so there started an overgroup called the Pacific Northwest Club Association, PNKCA, and they held conventions every year that moved to different club home territories that brought all the clubs together. And so we don't just hang out in our own little group. We travel to all the other clubs' home sites, and they put on a great, big, really informative, great koi convention for us. So that was really fun to be able to participate in that and get to meet all those people. And then the koi club just kept growing. And when I joined in 2015 as getting on the board and really becoming more active, that was a really great time of growth too. But then, as everybody knows, COVID hit. And I think all koi clubs kind of took a little dive in membership during COVID, and just worked really hard to keep the show going. And a lot of clubs, they didn't make it, which is really sad because I think the interest is there, but it's just hard to keep it going to get all of the people who are interested to be able to come out. And plus, our groups are aging out. We have a lot of older members in our clubs, and our goal is to really get younger people involved in the koi hobby. And you have to have a house to have a pond. Sometimes you can have the
I totally agree with you, and it's a lot of the people that have asked us to go down is because we've got 3 generations of pond keepers. My dad, me, and Leah. Have you just Ty? You've got your comments turned off on your live. I've put a message on there, but nobody can comment on your live. That's why they're all jumping ship. I'm pretty certain that if you can't do it in studio on another device, that's how it is. Sorry, yeah. And it's been a big thing that people have messaged me. I know Ian and
Aaron, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why can you not hear us?
I can't hear you guys. I don't know what just happened. Hold on. Somebody tried calling me, and now I'm gonna leave, and I'll be.
It's all right.
Okay, Aaron, just you and I.
Yeah, so it's one of the biggest factors that a few of the people that have spoke to us have asked us to how we can encourage young people to get in. And I was having a chat with someone who was in the comments right now about one of the club's dinners, and even just a simple thing that it's held on a Sunday. Well, that's no good for working people. But then you kind of get the feel of, well, probably everybody in that club's retired, and that is just a normal day for them.
Yeah.
Then it sets the ball rolling of it is the bigger portion of the people are retired and are at that age, and it really does need to be.
Yeah.
But I do get it. It's hard. Like, we had to, before building the pond that we're building now, me and Nikki had to say, are we ever going to move from this house? Because the amount that we are investing to this pond.
Yeah, it's an investment for sure. And but I also want people to know, if you want to be in the hobby, you don't have to have that giant, 10,000 gallon, 12,000 gallon pond.
Oh, no.
You can also just have the, one that you build above ground and It can be, a couple thousand gallons and doesn't take up that much space. And you can do it, but it's just getting people to feel that entry level step, that they have the confidence to do that. And that's what I think clubs do. What I love is we do a pond tour every year, and it's really fun because people want to come see what your pond looks like and what your filtration is. And there's all different levels. Like you have people who had like a rain barrel or, a trough for horses, and that was their pond, and they love it. And it's great. And it serves the same kind of, purpose that a larger pond does. It just doesn't take as much work on it sometimes.
It does, and I think you have to start somewhere, and you need to understand like the concept of filtration and everything else that goes with it. Like our first pond was like 4 meters, be 2 meters, be a meter deep. That was just a hole in the floor with a liner in it, and I wouldn't. Everybody has to start with that to get the concept. If you just went and built the biggest pond and you had no idea of how it worked,
Yeah.
it would be so hard to manage.
Yeah, you got to think about what you want out of your pond. If you want to be able to show fish, you have to be able to catch your fish. That's another thing. Some people have these gigantic ponds, and it takes a team of 3 or 4 people to catch their fish to bring them to a show with big seine nets and things. And that's great if you have those people, but it's nicer to have a setup, might not be quite that large, but you can have really, really fine fish in a smaller pond and be able to wrangle it yourself. So that's how I've designed my pond, is so I can kind of do all my wrangling by myself at home. I can do, the maintenance and things. It's nice to have a smaller pond. Mine's only 5,000 gallons, but I have monster filtration on it. So I keep a lot of fish in there. I think I have like 15 fish in there now. How's the tech going?
I'm here. I can
Oh,
hear
good.
you guys.
Yay,
We're all
Brett.
good now. Sorry
Okay.
about that.
You were just nodding.
No, I don't know what happened. Some random person tried calling my phone, and then it just weirded it out. I don't know. And I'm now very aware that I guess the chat was disabled in my stream before. I don't know how I got that screwed up. So, but luckily, Aaron's video, you can join the chat if you go over to watch on his. So please do that so that you can participate with everybody.
Yeah, I'm seeing some good comments coming in right now about people talking.
Luckily, Susan watches both, so she was the person that figured it out.
Well, thank you, Susan. Okay, yeah.
I've got one quick question before you dive into your questions, right? So you've been to a few American koi shows, and then you've been to the one over in Europe, the Amsterdam one. How is it in scale? Like the size of the US shows versus that one? Because everybody says the one over in Amsterdam is miles bigger than the ones we've got over here. How is that a similar perspective of what you guys have got? Are yours as big in America as what that is?
No, that show is mind-blowing. It's huge. There were over 100 tanks, and the fish quality was incredible, and huge ring around all of the tanks of vendors. So there's just great support. And yeah, it was a very big show. It was the biggest I've ever been to. And it was very impressive. And that was the other thing, the team that they had to run that show was just incredible. They take care of every little possible thought is covered. They have teams working on plumbing, electricity, the airlines, and walkie-talkies, and people kind of running around. And as a judge, you got your steps in. It was a day of walking for sure. We had to go around that big horseshoe many times. So it was very impressive. So yeah, the shows in the States, I think the biggest I've been to is probably, maybe 300-400 Koi Show, and this one was very, very, very big. It's rivaled that for sure. So it's impressive. It's something to aim to. So that's a really neat way to look at a koi show. That's the top, right? I see these teams of people, an entire town taking the week off to put on a koi show for, the nation. It's the European Koi Show. So we get people coming from, everywhere across the countries. And it's really interesting. In the United States, we are so, spread out that we have the pockets of show. And to transport koi in the United States, you have to do it most safely, usually by driving. And a few people are lucky enough to have their own private planes that they fly fish around in the United States. But for most of us, we're going to be driving that fish to that show. And it's really a stretch to drive a fish over an 8-hour period. I think for the driver and for the fish, a lot of stress. So you have to aim for those shows, right? And they're not going to be as big, but we definitely, we're proud of what we do here in Idaho. But I just went to the Oregon show in Canby, Oregon. So Northwest Koi and Goldfish Club put on a great show, and they had a really, really great turnout. And they had, over 20 tanks. So it was great. It was a really beautiful show.
I'm trying to remember the judges. Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle Gravenish. Yeah.
Yes, I watched the kind of live video that she put together.
She's really good at that.
No, that show looks like a lot of fun, actually.
Oh, it was great.
No, I'd love to make it up there to that show one of these days.
Yeah.
But that'd be, I think going up there for me is like a 12 or 13-hour drive.
Yeah. You have to kind of weigh the cost of driving versus flights. That's the one good thing. We can fly around pretty cheaply in this area. You can get a flight for, under $200, and you're going to get the hotel anyway. And a lot of people plan vacations around going to koi shows. So some people have never been to the Northwest. And so this was a really family vacation for them that they built around coming to the koi show. Those are the judges and other people who come. But yeah, it's really, it's wonderful to bring all these people together, I think. And then our little show is a little bit an island for many years. And when I started the judging program and started to really be more familiar with all the koi shows in the United States, it helped me see what our club needed to do to move out of more of an isolated, we just had this same vendor year after year, Cots Koi, which we love. They do such a good job. But we had to all of a sudden start looking at how we could work with other koi clubs. And that was just an eye-opener. And there's so much support between clubs. So I'm always looking to see what another club needs. And I highly recommend that everybody, if you see a club is having a show, they sometimes do trophy sponsorships. And that's just a way to write, a little kind of love letter to your koi community, sponsor a trophy. And it helps the club. And it's really neat to see all the names of all the people who, help sponsor show up when you're giving the awards. And it just makes it feel even closer. So I just always appreciate people who can help us out. And I love helping out all other clubs. So that's a really good thing to do if you guys are looking for ways, your audience, help out your koi clubs.
Yeah,
that's great.
One of the friends to our channel, he now is a YouTuber, and he now has his own trophy at the koi shows over here.
Oh yeah.
So that's him giving a bit back, to be fair, and he goes round and judges what he thinks is the best koi and awards it to that one. So he's putting a bit back in as well.
Yeah. And it's just not about showing koi. I think the show is a huge part of clubs. And I think the show is also a chance for vendors to make that connection with people who are interested in koi and the hobby. But the clubs are about helping individuals learn how to manage their ponds and how to take care of their fish. I am also certified koi keeper. through KOI. And so taking that course and learning so much and just having all the experience for so many years of working with fish, I love to help people with their koi, and I do home visits, house calls, and consultations. So it's nice to be able to help people, pointing them in the right direction, hopefully if they have issues. And that's part of the club. The club, I mean, I feel like we do so much for people who love fish in this area. So we're always doing koi rescues. We have people who are maybe aging out of their ponds, and our club will go help collect their fish and find new homes for them. So that's always exciting, and it's a lot of labor of love.
Yeah. No, people love their fish, and I'm sure for a lot of people it's not easy to make that decision. That
Yeah.
it's I've seen that happen with some people in my own community, where it just becomes a lot to try to keep up with on your own. I think especially maybe when you get to a certain age too. So just I think it's great that you can turn to somebody who can say, no, I'll happily, find a new home for your fish, or I'll take your fish in. And I think
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah, and it is. And that's the whole cycle. It's, life cycle of a pond's life cycle of us. We have these dreams when you're young, and you make these great, big, beautiful things and maintain them as much as you can. And but it's nice to know there's people who can help you if you need help. And I think the club is huge in that. And every club I've talked to, that's part of what they do. So it's important to be a part of a koi society or club in your area. Plus, it gives you people to geek out with about stuff that you can't talk to anybody else about.
Yeah.
They just don't understand.
This is true.
It's a social event as much as it is for the fish for me, though. These things, like
Yeah.
there's people I speak to up and down the country, and the only time I'll ever get to see them is at shows where we've all travelled 5 hours, and it's as much about the show as it is us staying in a hotel afterwards and having a good catch up.
Yes.
The whole thing for us is still part of the show.
Yeah, that was an eye opener, seeing that is just something that happens at all shows. There's the kind of the after party of every
Yeah.
day. And it's so fun to just talk and catch up, and you learn so much. I just really appreciate talking with people. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to your shows. I highly encourage people to start checking it out if they haven't already.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Katie, I had this is just kind of what you're making me think of. Because you've traveled around the U.S. and to other countries for koi shows and gotten to meet people from all these different clubs and different communities. I'm just so curious. Do you see like differences between these different communities based off of like the size of the community, or like I guess what I'm asking, right, is my pond or my club community with koi is I think probably on the smaller side.
Mhm.
Don't know what the Idaho scene is like. Honestly, you guys have a koi show you put together, so I think it's probably bigger than mine.
Yeah.
But
It might be, but yeah, we're really proud. We got a lot of members, and our ranks are increasing. We have, gosh, I talked to Shannon Barnes, is a really great lady in our club, and she's always posting about how many new members we get every year, which is really makes us all very enthusiastic. But looking across the United States, it's funny because my husband goes to a lot of koi shows with me, and he's not the Kichi I am, but he loves to go. But he said that when we went to a bigger community, I go to like Florida and Georgia, and he was expecting something different. I don't know what he was expecting, some like grand stage and, full course banquet meal. And he said, "Oh my God, they're the same wherever you go." It's just like there's an idea. And it's like the trophies, the way you hand out the trophies, it takes just as long. And
yeah,
there's always the same issues of like, what trophies, what? And it's hilarious. And that's, I think, the beauty of this hobby is like, there's not a lot of errors to be putting on. It's really, people are really cool and just making it happen. It just looks the same. And that's what surprised me. I don't know what I was expecting, but if you go to one show, you're going to see a real similar set of events that come through. The judging happens on a Saturday. That night is usually the banquet, and then breakdown and walk around on a Sunday. And the people all know how it flows, and it's really a fun thing. And I think everybody's comfortable with how it goes. But they're really similar. And even in Europe, that, the award ceremony was a little bit bigger and fancier, but the idea is it's really just people really enjoying seeing their friends, hanging out, having a good meal, and just talking about, which fish won and why it should or shouldn't have. And that's really fun for people to debate. And I think it just opens up a really great conversation. The Koi Show is always really fun. But yeah, they're the same everywhere. So it's fun. Except for Vegas. Oh my goodness. That one, they're really.
Okay, I'm glad you brought this up because, yes, go ahead.
No, that one was really fun because I know that Sean and Hector meant to put on a Vegas style show. And I went in the first year, and it was just eye-popping, eye candy fun. And they took it to a different level for sure. They had a lot of fun. They had the like Cirque du Soleil performers doing tricks in the middle of the banquet audience and the showgirls. And it was really fun. It was really crazy. And, we were talking earlier about the Rocky Mountain Koi Club and about what a party they make out of their show. And even though, the format's the same, I think people are starting to step it up because you're throwing a party. And the more fun you have, I think the more people are going to enjoy coming and making it a really unique, fun get together. And the other thing is trophies. Yeah. So in the good old days, it used to just be the cup, right? Everybody had the cup or a ribbon. And it seems like people are getting a lot more creative with trophies nowadays. And Rocky Mountain has some of the most unique trophies. And last year they had the giant belt buckles that for professional wrestlers. And that was incredible. That was really fun. Or that was a couple of years ago. And then this year they did giant belt buckles for, like bull riders or rodeo.
Yeah, and like rodeo style. Yeah.
And that is really fun because they're just bringing a whole element of fun that I think is really great to koi shows and up in the bar of, how fun the party is. I also like they have great, it feels like a party. It feels like everybody gets together, very relaxed, fun, playing games while you're, winning prizes. It's a really good time. I highly recommend, checking out that show.
Yeah. It's funny. Speaking of rodeos, that's one thing that when Aaron eventually gets out here, I'm going to drag him to a rodeo somewhere.
Oh yeah.
So I think that is a uniquely American experience that I know. Yes.
Yep. We have a famous one up here. I don't know what goes down in Utah, but we have the Snake River Stampede, and that rodeo
I've heard of this. Yeah.
For over 100 years. And then the Caldwell Night Rodeo is really down to earth, really fun. Still smaller, but it's a lot of fun. So yeah, bring him on up. Make it over.
Did we scare him away talking about rodeos?
He just disappeared. I don't know.
Let me double check something really quick. Now we got a couple rodeos down here. There's a couple down in southern Utah. And then I think there's 3 here in northern Utah that I'm aware of. But anyways.
I used to ride trick horses in the rodeos. I did halftime performance.
Did you really?
Yeah. So I've done some rodeos in Utah. So yeah,
okay.
Fun.
A trick horse.
So yeah, we did halftime entertainment. So we rode horses without bridles or saddles and jumped them and did all these crazy formations and crazy stuff. It was really fun. So yeah, rodeo halftime. You didn't know it was just about the main events: bull riding, horse riding. They have
Oh, I've been
other
told. I've
fun
been
stuff.
told that I'll really enjoy it.
Oh, you
Yeah.
will. It's great.
Like my bucket list for America is that and NASCAR.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, those are both
Now,
very exciting.
I remember going to rodeos when I was a kid. I think it was part of the halftime show. They'd have the guys who like get the bull's attention, right? To like distract them when the
Yeah,
rider
the
gets,
clowns. They used to be
yeah,
called
the
clowns.
clowns,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I just remember them like there's no riders, there's nobody else, there's just a bull and them just running
Mhm.
around like kind of distracting the bull and like playing
Yep.
games like trying to get it to toss a barrel and do stuff. It was wild.
And you think that's easy. It's not. They actually have schools and they have to go through courses to be able to do that. There's a lot of training
I can
involved.
only imagine.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I don't know if I would do that.
No,
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 no.
me neither.
Yeah, that's a
Sorry.
young.
This
Yeah,
this is
you
a
got off on
koi.
rodeo.
This is a live stream about koi fish, not
Yeah,
rodeos,
not
but
the koi rodeo. Yes, that's what we're doing.
the
The
koi rodeo.
I know where it veered off from, but yeah, I did. So Ty sent me a link of take a look at this for the prizes, and I
Yeah,
saw
for the
the
Rocky Mountain
GMC
Koi
prize, and
Show.
I immediately sent it to every koi keeper in the UK that I knew. I was like,
Oh
have
yeah.
a look at this for a GC prize. Can you imagine walking down the pub with a belt buckle like that with a koi on it? Like, I just won
Bling
GC.
bling.
That is boss.
Next year they're gonna make them light up or something. That's just yeah. That's really, really fun. But yeah, I think when you do go to koi shows and you go enough times, you're going to walk away with some trophies. I mean, it's just the way it works. And you want to make more unique so your cabinet gets more unique.
Some
That's
funny
fun.
people in the chat saying to stick me on the horse.
Stick you on the horse. All right. That's going to be a fun live stream.
Well, yeah, if you come out here, we'll go take you to one of those bars where they have one of the mechanical bulls you can get on.
Yeah, you can practice on that for sure.
It won't be that won't be my first rodeo, believe you me. Benidorm is full of them.
Very nice.
Nice. Let's see. So here's my question, Susan. Talking about like the different kind of trophies and like fun things that get put together for these shows, because I mean they're kind of a party. What is unique about the Idaho Koi Show in that respect?
Well, this year, as far as the trophies, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
We are actually doing all Yeti products. Do you know what Yeti is?
Yes.
Yeah, so Yeti has this huge line of products, and we decided to turn some of those really cool giant mugs and coffee French presses and stuff into our trophies this year. So
Oh, that'll be cool.
yeah, you're not just going to sit it on a shelf where it's not going anywhere. No one can see it. You're going to take it with you, and it says, best in size 5 and Idaho Water Garden and Koi Society and a little koi on the other side. So, I mean, it's a beautiful little work of art that's, usable. So I think that's fun.
Like a car Yeti mug.
Yeah. So like this
my
is
God.
one, yeah, Yeti. And then the fish on it. So these are going to be like the trophies. So they'll be
They're going to
really
be sold as well, like sold separate.
Oh, we haven't thought about that yet. They're kind of exclusive, right? We're not selling them yet. They're going to just be
If they become unexclusive, because I can't join an Idaho, I can't take my fish to Idaho to show.
Oh, you
I
could.
mean, Aaron,
We'll
you
welcome you to
could
join us.
always
Yep.
do this like what people do with the All Japan Koi Show. I mean, we could keep one of your fish in my pond that you get from Mickey and Devin or something. I'll take really good care of it for you.
Yes.
I can send you pictures of my koi with like really good art next to it. Just stick them flat on the top of the vat.
You're like, give me a mug. It's a good looking fish.
If you do decide to sell them, hit me up.
I will definitely let you know. Yeah, they're really nice to have. They're a really good product. We love them. So yeah, they're hopefully people will really enjoy them. Yeah, and we try to make it fun. Every year we do something different. You know, we love our banquet spaces we find around here. It's always a big party. We throw a big party and have big, wonderful meal, and then all of our rewards. We have a great big slideshow and lots of prizes and things. People donate a lot of great products to our club that we then will raffle off, so people can get some incredible things at our show. So Ty's going to experience it, hopefully. Come on
Yeah.
and see it. Yeah.
So I am going to be coming up with Robert, with Dr. Martinez.
Oh, great. That's fun. I
So
welcome you guys. That's going to be so fun.
yeah, I think it'll be really neat. I brought this up with him a couple months ago, and he's never been to a koi show.
Oh, wow.
And he was just really excited to experience that. So
Oh, great.
I thought this is a great place to go do it.
Yeah, we have a really great venue too. We've been at Edwards Greenhouse for a few years now. I think this is our third year there. And it's just gorgeous. It's acres and acres of greenhouses. So it's the koi show takes up 2 greenhouses. So it's pretty big.
Wow.
And yeah, so we'll go through the greenhouse, see the koi show, and then we have a big vendor area outside, this huge open area with tables, and we have entertainment. We have Bonsai Society of Boise. They have this beautiful display they put on, and then they do classes all during the koi show. So they'll teach you how to take care of bonsai, and little gifts from them. Everyone likes to stop by their area. And then we have taiko drummers at noon. So we have some great groups from around the Northwest that come to our show and perform for us, doing the traditional taiko drumming. And that happens at noon the day of the koi show. And that's a lot of fun. And they're so impressive. So there's just a big
Very
party
cool.
atmosphere. Yeah, it's
What's
really.
a taiko drum?
Taiko drum is a traditional Japanese large wooden drum. And sometimes they're on the supports. They're very, very large. And they're using big stick mallets as the beaters. And they have, they're very, very loud. And it's just something that you feel and see at the same time. The music's really great. So that's really cool.
I did say to so our largest koi show in the UK that it kind of needed to when everyone disperses back to their own hotels, and there's so many different ones, they should maybe close the show and do a band on in the field next to it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And do that. 1 minute, I'm just sending.
We transport our party to our awards banquet that night, so the party continues. And so, but we don't have a band yet. We'll have to look into that.
I just think it seems to me that every show everyone goes, let's go and have a look at the fish, let's get some bargains, and then there's a real lot of socializing. And why they want everyone to disperse from the show when they could make more money for the clubs by having a band and still selling drinks and stuff like that then goes into the club's kitty. They're probably missing out on a trick, because
I think you're onto something, Aaron. That's a good idea. Our problem is just location. It's hard to get, a band in our neighborhood where the greenhouse is, but that is a good idea. They could do that they did do that at this, where they had the Oregon Koi Show. They had a band set up that was playing all day long, because it was like the Dahlia Festival. They have it at a Dahlia farm, and it's just gorgeous. And they have band playing all day long. It was really fun. So yeah, you can definitely increase the party.
I've just sent young fun. Joseph from the Koi Perspective magazine.
When you come, we'll make sure there's a band. Okay, Aaron?
Oh, yeah.
We'll play.
So I've invited Joe from the Koi Perspective as well. He's trying to log on now. I think he's having tech.
Oh, okay.
Because obviously he's been to a load of different koi shows over here, Japan. I don't know if he's been to the one in Amsterdam, but I was trying to get like a global perspective on the topic.
Yeah, that's great.
He appears to be having technical difficulties.
I really enjoyed, meeting all the European koi judges. I don't know if you're familiar with,
Did you meet Alan Tate?
I know of Alan, but I have not met him. I met Gary Hillier. Do you know Gary?
Alan Tate is a legend amongst these grounds.
Oh, yes. He didn't come to the show, or else I would have met him. Next time is what I'm hoping.
Do you know what I like to do? And it'll probably really annoy him. But when Alan's in judging mode, he is super serious. And I like to try and make him giggle, right, when he's on this serious mode.
Judges get into the serious mode for sure.
Welcome to the channel, Joe.
Oh, yeah,
there
you're
he
right.
is.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, mate.
How are we doing?
Good.
I've just been wrestling like a 1.5-year-old to bed, so hopefully he's fast asleep.
Well, everybody, welcome to the Koi Perspective podcast.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, I've been listening in where I can be on baby screaming and feeding milk. So, yeah, it's interesting to get like a different perspective from the US because they always say everything is bigger in America. And I think it's fairly true. Like, I think the industry over there is just going to be absolutely massive. See the amount of fish that have been imported over there now in Japan. And yeah, you go around the koi farms as well and you just see, USA, like floating on the water, like sold out USA. And it's like, yeah, crazy the amount of fish that are going over there. So I definitely think it's like in a huge boom, isn't it, at the minute in America? So, yeah, awesome to hear.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that. I think it's true. I think there's a lot of people who are getting the bug over here, starting to rise again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's just, we're all just so spread out. That's the only problem with the U.S.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess you got to like get on a plane to go to some koi shows, and then you got the cost of it. Like for us, it's one tank of petrol or gas, and like for you guys, it's maybe $200-300 in a flight, and then hotels, and it's really dedication at that point, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. Thanks for seeing that. It takes a lot, and it's the koi kichi that keep it up. You got to be committed.
I suppose wherever there is like huge industry, though, there is a lot of money, and I hope that the big dealers and the big like people in the industry can like finance to support it as well. Because importing a lot of fish, it comes with like you can import a lot of koi, but I guess the actual education, like keeping people in the hobby, is just as important as well. Like over here, we have quite a big network of like people that are doing a lot of like live streaming and things like that now, and like this today and other things as well. Whereas in America, it's kind of like quite sparse, or at least I don't tap into like maybe the YouTube side of it as much. I don't know whether it's fairly new over there in the States, but I'd love to see more hobbyist vloggers for sure in America.
Yes, I agree. I think that's a great point.
I would too. It's very lonely.
Oh, well, yes.
I know. I'm joking. You know, we've got some great people doing YouTube over here. We've got that sounds terrible. That I would just like blank right when I was
I think that's telling, right?
Wow,
now, I know a lot
that
of
was
people who do
stone
it around
cold.
the
That
shows.
guy.
Gosh, no. We got Keeps Koi Haven. We've got Christine, yes, over at Aaron, you got to help me out.
Acre Koi Farm. These are your guys.
I know. This is terrible.
Stubbs Aquatics.
Stubbs up in Canada, yeah. My Koi Obsession also up in Canada. But you know, there's not a lot of us over here.
Yeah.
I know you're making a point. I think we all need to try a little harder and to engage using video. I think that would be really great. Fun to see.
I think to like to my side of things, I love koi clubs, and the koi clubs are the reason that like the show scene exists.
Mhm.
But I've said a couple of times on like my own platforms, it'd be interesting to hear your guys' take on it. I do think that somewhat like the koi club side of it has been a little bit like superseded with like the with like social media nowadays. Like I think a lot of people now, if they're looking for a little bit of support on their pond, they generally come online. And I think the koi clubs now have a real battle on the hands to like get new members into koi clubs, because it's so difficult now to like I guess back in the days you'd find all your information from koi clubs or speaking to people like on the telephone, or but
Mhm.
nowadays I think it's so easy to just go on YouTube and type in your exact problem and
Right.
find a video with an explanation.
Well, the
So
problem, yeah, I definitely see that does happen. That's true. But I see a problem with a lot of misinformation.
mm,
And whenever I'm on any sort of thread or people giving advice, I don't want to say I cringe, but I cringe because
yeah,
there's a lot of people who are giving advice for their experience and they don't have a global enough perspective on what's happening to that area where that person lives, or to understand, real fine things like, quality of water. What's your, KH, GH? We got to really sleuth a little bit more.
yeah,
And I've had a lot of people join the club just because of that. They say, well, we went online and we got sent a million different directions. We didn't really get good advice. All our fish are dead or dying, and we're coming to you as the last resort. And
yeah,
we're like, "Jeez, you should have come here first, because we live in this area. We know how to take care of fish in this area." And it's always that. And so, yeah, I really think it's great when people give advice, but only if it's, pertinent to the people who need it in that area. And plus, everybody's an expert nowadays, and it's
yeah.
really hard to wade through all of that. You have to have a real critical eye when you're looking at a lot of the stuff that comes down as advice.
Yeah, 100%. As easy as it is to start going online and telling people your opinion, like I think we all should have like a little asterisk at the start, like do not do as I say. Just
Right.
like some people, I think they see like people's experience and they go, oh well, it must be exactly the same scenario in my pond.
Right.
And like two ponds can be so totally different, like different ecosystems. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I totally see that point as well.
Yeah. So, but I do think that on your point, your other point about needing more video in Idaho, yes, you're right. We should probably be sharing the knowledge, out there. We do definitely think that the koi clubs holding the koi shows are responsible. That's kind of the way the community comes together to celebrate the hobby. And I
Yeah.
think that's a really great way for people to, see really fine fish and animal husbandry. Just people are seeing how to take care of fish and get advice one-to-one from people who are more, I don't want to say anybody's an expert. Everybody thinks they are, but everybody just has different degrees of
Yeah.
experience and what they can
Yeah. Yeah.
speak to.
Can I just jump in with that? Congratulations. Ruth has just joined the chat. She's got her koi at the Mid-Staff Koi Show right now and I've just gone off it. She had 3 firsts, a second and 2 thirds, and her stepson won Supreme Grand Champion. So
Absolutely great.
Oh, well
congratulations,
done.
Ruth. We are all
Fair
so
play.
Way
proud
to
of you.
go.
That's
Congratulations,
wonderful.
Ruth.
Such a great thing. That's fun.
Although I did try my hardest to get someone to video call me while I was there, and 3 other people jumped in. So there was like, look, show me a vat. And on WhatsApp video call, it was about that big. I was like, well done.
Yeah.
Right. It's funny.
Uh,
Aw. These people are wonderful. Your chat, they're really fun.
Have you been to the show over in Holland, Joe?
No, not yet. Still on my list to do that. I'd love to do the Holland and the Belgian koi show because they both look pretty decent.
Yeah, that's a beautiful show.
We will have to make a road trip.
Well, come down to Hull and
Yeah.
go on the ferry from there.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
so Katey, you and I were briefly talking about this before we started the stream. But I just saw that Lumi just jumped in, and it's more popular here in the U.S. Longfish or long-finned koi,
Right.
which
Here's an opinion.
Don't worry, I've already put in the UK perspective prior.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
here in
it's a long-fin koi. Yeah, butterfly koi. It's very controversial. I think even over here in the U.S., it's a controversial
It is
topic.
very- Yeah.
But I was just learning that there is a longfin category at the Rocky Mountain Koi Show and at the Idaho Show,
Yep.
which blew my mind. I had no idea there was anybody doing that.
Wow.
Yes, it's funny when we first started our journey as judges, it was kind of a task that's given to the new judges. It's like, okay, now it's your turn to judge the long fin. And that is something that everyone, like, first of all, how do you judge the long fin? You know, what are the standards? And so we had to really crunch down and actually rewrite the standards for the butterfly koi, and they're just getting finalized. There's a lot of people who talk about it. So there are aspects of the fish that most people who, keep the standard fin koi, never the two shall meet. If you throw them in the pond and they start breeding with your regular koi, you're going to get something called mid fin. And that's that fin that's just a little too long. And we're just talking about just knocking the standards off the pedestal with these type of fish. So they're not considered a true koi. So they can and read, but as far as what we consider, the true form of wagoi carp, we're not going to look at those fish seriously. Then they just can't compete with the other fish. That being said, don't get mad at me, everybody. That being said, everyone seems to love them. Not everyone, but a lot of people out there love their longfin koi. They really do. And these people want to be recognized. And so we have awards at our show, 2 awards for longfin, one over 16 inches and one for longfin under 16 inches. And that, what I like about koi shows is you want to make sure people are all represented and they feel like they see what they like at the show, but they also are going on an educational journey and they can understand that, the other types of fish are just held to a whole different standard, body, size, the quality. So, and you're not going to get that on a long fin. Their fins are really beautiful and they're judged on how they hang their fins, that beautiful deportment and the shape and the condition of that pec fin. So, and again, the body and the type and the conformation of that fish has a lot to do with it. But it's something that most people in serious koi world, koi shows, they don't consider that a true koi.
I think that the reason that in England we have such a bad feeling around the whole longfin butterfly koi, whatever you want to call them, but I think it's like 99% of the examples that we see over here are like really cheap, like fish that are imported just to satisfy that area of the market. I think in America, more expensive ones are definitely imported into America. I would say, like, I've seen like Nisai examples. Even if you're just talking about Nisai, it's so rare that you see like Japanese Nisai examples imported into England. I don't know if you'd agree, Aaron, but very rare you walk into a dealer and see any.
My statement before you came on, before this was live, is that I don't see it in the UK koi scene and never have done, and it's predominantly they're widely sold at garden centres now. And this isn't. I do know there's koi shops that sell them, and they sell them for a market. But like, I've never seen an expensive one.
Yeah.
Right. And they'll probably be out there, but of all the koi shops I go to, I imagine if I went to 5 garden centres around here that sold koi, I imagine they all would sell them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I went to 5 koi shops around here, like I've got Elite Koi, Dot Koi, Wakefield Koi, and I know none of them do.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Aaron, how many koi shops are within a 1 hour drive of you? How many koi dealers?
Wow, a lot.
He has to think there's so many.
No. This is one of the things that's so interesting to me about the U.S. versus the U.K. And I think that does have to do with the fact that you guys are a lot more concentrated on that island versus like where Katey and I live, which is the West, and it's just so expansive how spread out everybody is. I think maybe on the East Coast or on the West Coast, it's
East Coast
probably
is
more like it
much more
is
dense. Yeah, you can
over
compare
there.
that. Yeah, but here I'm the closest one is over 500 miles from me.
Yeah,
Wow.
same.
There must be like 16 within an hour, and like
Great.
that is probably me underestimating it as well.
Yeah.
Dave's put well over 20. Like there's so many.
Wow.
I can get to one in 10 minutes. Like I can get to one at 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Is what I can get to one on.
That's wild. You're lucky.
Yeah.
Although that koi dealer from Greenwood Koi loves me ringing him at 6 in the morning for a UV bulb. He's absolutely ace, that guy.
So, Katey, I'm really interested now that you said that you got like judging criteria for longfin. So, one of the things with longfin is that if one time that fish damages its fin, it's like over for that fish, isn't it? Like, because in my mind, if a butterfly koi like splits its pectoral fin and like I see it as like irreversible damage. Like on a wagoi fish, I think it can heal pretty well, but on like a butterfly koi, keeping the fins actually in like good condition is like nearly on impossible in my opinion. Like that's one of my big worries with butterfly fish. Is that part of like the judging criteria?
Yeah, they're much more delicate. The fin is longer, but I think you might be talking about the fringe or the fingering that comes off. And those are not considered desirable. They're dragon type is what those are referred to, as they have the long extensions. And those are considered a lower quality. We're looking for a lobed fin that has a nice finished edge. So the fin shall be, yeah, I know. Look at Aaron. He's like, what?
No,
It's all about the
sorry, I was reading the comments and Craig's trying to wind me up.
Oh, yes, good.
I can't read and conversate.
Yes, it's hard. I know I'm doing the same thing. They're pretty funny, actually. There's funny people in it. So, yeah, it's all about deportment. And it's like a kimono, they say, is your arms are stretched out. And the fish has to move. It's all about the movement, how the fins are held as the fish moves. If you do have a split in a fin, it would probably take that much longer for it to knit back together. So if you have a wagoi carp that has shorter, rays, you're not going to have that problem for as long. I've had a fish who split a fin and it's healed within a year. I'm thinking it would take longer, but yeah, that fish might be damaged. But again, those ragged edges of your fins, that's the reason why that's not desirable. That's going to be less than standard. Yeah. So you want to have that nice clean edge to the edge of the fin. That's what we're tossing around in the judging circles right now anyway.
Is it a case of bigger is better when it comes to fins?
Well, bigger but quality. You have to, like I say, not have that, and it has to have the width. It can't be a little skinny. Have you ever seen the ones with that almost like there's nothing there? It's just like that top leading ray. So you want to have depth and width to the lobe of the pec, and you also want to, just have that quality. Does it carry, if it's a metallic fish, is there a nice sheen on it? What does the leading ray look like? Is it straight? Is it curved? Is it bent? So a lot of the same things that we'll use to judge a wagoi carp with fins, but this is just amplified because there's a lot more fin to judge. But again, it's all about deportment. How does that fish hold itself and move through the water? Does it tuck itself and go like an arrow? That's not going to be considered a good specimen. You want to have the fish hold out the fins as it moves, use its tail, and just let them glide. And so there is a beauty. You have to admit there is a beauty to them. But Do I have any in my pond? I'm sorry to report I do not. So
Joe, you're getting kicked about in the comments here for knocking butterfly fish.
Oh dear, dear.
Uh-oh.
I have seen some good ones. Like definitely when you see like a platinum ogon, like
That
pure
sounds like a
white.
backpedal.
It is a little bit. It is a little bit.
The fact that you entered like that and then gone,
Yeah,
"Well, do you know
yeah.
what? I'm getting kicked in the comments now. There's some beautiful platinum ogon ones.
Yeah, I just think it's like anything. If I was to spend that amount of money on anything, it just wouldn't be a long fin. It's just it comes down to preference at that point. Yeah. I've seen them also with the really long barbels as well.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, they look
Mm.
really cool.
Yeah,
But
dragon-like. Yeah, they're really
yeah,
interesting, aren't they? Yeah, you got to appreciate things.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
What I think is interesting about butterfly koi, so Aaron knows this. There are 2 of them in our pond. My wife wanted them and picked them out, and you know what? If that means that she enjoys this hobby with me, and I'm
Yes.
all for it.
Right.
I would not have put those fish in my pond personally.
Yeah.
But you know, it is interesting when we have people come over. I look, and this is probably just because I'm looking at koi fish completely differently than somebody who doesn't look at koi fish every day and doesn't like obsess over this stuff. But every single time they point at the same butterfly fish and say, "Oh, I really like that one." And inside I'm just like, "Why? Why that one?" But they're striking. I can understand why people, you know, that there's an interest that people immediately have with them.
Yeah, and I think it's just the movement of the fin and something that's different. People are
Yeah.
really drawn, and there's a lot of new types of koi that are being put out. The Aragoke koi are also something that we're seeing a lot more, especially in the American market. People are really fascinated with this scalation that was considered a defect. And now that is something that people are starting to refine and bring into koi shows. And I think there might be room for a category, but how can you take something that's a defect and write a standard for it? It's kind of takes a lot of minds coming together for that.
You know what? There was hot stuff this year. So at the North of England Koi Show, I worked on perfect aquatic stand with my son, and Aragoki sold 10-1 to anything else. I think I bowled more Aragoki up in the morning of that show than any other fish.
That's wild. That's something to say. There's a market for these fish. The breeders are putting this fish forward. They are getting great success with it. But that doesn't mean it's going to take the place of our Wagoy carp. I mean, you've got tons of time, lineage, development, and serious breeding practices that these fish just don't have yet. I do think they're fascinating, but they're not going to get a GC anytime soon.
No. Do you think though that the way that people are building ponds now is leaning towards why they're making lineages like this? Because when these fish were viewed from above, like they would have never seen what it is from the side. But now there's a lot more people with windows, and they are spectacular to view from the side.
Yeah,
I imagine this is why they're becoming a lot more popular.
Yeah, mirror carp are really fascinating. They're really beautiful to view from the side. And I think you're right. That has kind of made us look around the fish, not just always from that top view. When you get the windows in ponds, I think that's a huge trend. And people are reconstructing their ponds just to put the windows in now. It's a really great view to keep your fish healthy too. You can see what's going on top to bottom if you have a window. Really gets your eyes on your fish more. So I think it's a great improvement.
I think also the Japanese are kind of like somewhat running out of mutations to experiment with. Like
Well,
I
they're
think
always trying. Yeah.
yeah, and I think if they can develop something new and sellable, then they just will work on it. But the one fish that changed my mind, I'll do it. Can I do a filthy plug now? Is that okay?
Oh, wait there.
Am I
This is
allowed
the
to?
one. I had your thing ready for you.
Have you got it ready? I've got a flyer, but
You can go for it. You can hold it up.
right. Well, this fish
Oh, yeah.
was
That thing's incredible.
94 cm,
Mm,
but it's like its Ginrin scales are
mhm.
like bigger than my eyeballs. Like they're absolutely
Wow.
but you imagine like a scale like this big with Ginrin in it. It just like completely transformed my whole like.
Right, and they're going for size. That's another thing is they're bringing the Karashi blood into
Let's see if
these
I can-
fish. So with the one you're showing right now, you can
Yeah.
definitely, see that. I love the
But that
gold on the dorsal.
it's got like gold down the lateral line as well. Like you
Yeah.
can't really
Oh
see
my
it on
gosh.
there, but it absolutely like blew my mind with the Ginrin. And yeah, that actually won like a major prize as well. I think
Yeah.
because it's quite complex, like to keep a fish of that any
Mhm.
size. But also, would you class it as like doitsu? Like I had this conversation the other day. Like I guess you'd class it as doitsu because there is areas without scales. Like
So it could that's gonna be Kawarigoi because,
yeah,
when you have a Deutz fish, it's of a type usually, and it's just the Deutz version of that fish, but, the idea of the Aragoki scaling, I truly think, and I say this with confidence, I think that needs to happen. I think we look at the market and we're seeing these beautiful fish, and I've had discussions with other judges, and it's just like the longfin. They shake their heads and they're like, not going to happen. This doesn't fit into what we've done. But when you look at Ginrin and Deutz versions, those came in,
Mhm.
1950s, 1960s, 1980s is when we see these types being introduced as recently as then. And so I think there's going to be changes, and we just have to all agree refinement is what's going to get these fish through the hoop of us having a way to point at a fish and say that's a reliable breed. I have consistency, and it's happening. They're
Yeah.
starting to really refine these fish, and I think I'm with you. They're just stunning, and they're really going for size. So they get that. There's Ochiba blood in there,
Mhm.
and then there's lots of Karashi, and then the Ginrin, and they're getting great things.
Yeah.
Also, Indonesia has a type that's really interesting. They have Ochiba base, and so the skin is black. And then the Ginrin, and they're breeding for some really high contrast blingy fish that, I mean, I showed pictures in a presentation I was giving, and people, loved them. They said, I'd put that in my pond. That's
Mhm.
a beautiful fish. But ZNA setting our standards still, and I think that's where everything falls back to. So it's individual koi clubs wanting to honor fish that are in their area, I think, and that's why the longfin happened. If you have the majority of people not seeing their fish represented in the show, we're not going to have them entering the show. Like they might have one longfin and then a bunch of wagoi carp, and so this is just spreading the wealth and getting people interested in the hobby.
Yeah. Yeah. I also think like as well with Dainichi, just because the Black Zeus was the first real
Mhm.
one I'd seen marketed, and I think it just kind of like also there was the first one that hit the UK. I think is a big part to play with that. I don't profess to know like the ins and outs of that entire bloodline, but I think it all stems from like just like I say, running out of mutations. It was somebody in Japan that said to me like maybe the next big thing in koi is like the lakes in America or Europe. Like perhaps in some of the big lakes in America and Europe, like some mutation that could happen from like mirror carp that is not yet seen in Japan, because there is a feeling that's going around that they are kind of like running out of mutations to like experiment with. And so obviously I think the Aragoke or Black Zeus, for example, is like Kamonru with like a mirror
Mhm.
carp, like Ginrin Kamonru or something like that. But yeah, it's obvious that they're playing around with it. But yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure in 20 years' time we'll be sat here talking about something new that they have come up with. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but yeah, definitely interesting.
Yeah, they are. And yeah, you're right. These varieties are coming forward because people love new things. They love to have the new type in their pond.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's fun. We're
So,
collectors.
do you
Yeah.
before you just dived off topic there, Joe? Do you want to actually plug the poster that
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, sorry. I knew it was a filthy plug, but it fit so well into what we were discussing. So yeah, tomorrow we've got the. I don't know how well it'll come up on screen.
1 minute. Let me make Joe big.
Make me a giant. It's back to front. I can't turn it round, but that says the Digital Koi Show 2025, and the live stream is tomorrow on my YouTube channel. So yeah, a lot of people have been saying like, obviously, this is not going to replace koi shows. I don't want anyone to think I've done this to like replace a koi show because I love koi shows. This whole competition was made off the fact of trying to get people who've bought fish and got photos and videos on the phone. You can enter it for free and get it judged by the Japanese. So we've got two. So we've got breeders who have jumped on a video call with me for like 3.5 hours to judge. In total, 430 fish we had entered. And yeah, judging it and going through it. So I'll be live streaming it tomorrow, showing you like the fish they selected out for all the awards, like the ones they picked out of the bunch and then like gone through. And some choices I wouldn't have made, but I can totally see why they've done it. I think like I think one of the main things that hits me is they pick fish based on that initial 3 seconds of looking at a fish. Like if the fish like strikes you and it's got like an impression, I think they've gone with that. And obviously they've looked at the in-depth and made sure it's got like no deformities or anything like that. But yeah, some of the decisions I think will raise a few eyebrows, but I think a lot we can learn from it. And yeah, loads of prizes to give away. So we'll be live streaming it, and we'll be having all the winners of it. So the hobbyists that have won any major awards, and then the dealers who supplied the koi that have won as well on to just talk about why it was imported, when it was imported, how it's developed since it's been in England. So yeah, a little bit of fun for everyone to play along with. So
And
yeah.
what time and where can you find it?
So 6 o'clock UK time tomorrow PM. And
Find it there, Joe. Look.
Find it. Oh yeah, find it over here.
Yeah.
So you can scan that QR code. Sorry. And yeah, we're going live at 6 p.m. So yeah, should be good fun. I'm looking forward to it. Like I say, a lot of people have said like, you know, it's this is again not to replace koi shows. Like, I absolutely love koi shows. They've got a huge part to play in the whole koi world, and this is just something to add to. And there's a lot of fish in the competition that I think would never ever see a show of that. So giving them a little bit of the limelight as well for people who don't want to or are not able to take their fish to koi shows. And I know photo shows and things like that have been done in the past, but for me, getting the Japanese breeders involved and having your fish judged by the Japanese is just something like a lot of people. I know I would love that, so I hope that other people do as well. So yeah, thank you for letting me come on and plug it a little bit. I appreciate it.
Yeah, when we're speaking about shows and the judging of your show was tomorrow, I thought it fit pretty well.
Yeah, no, I
I'll just
appreciate
quickly
that.
put, have you entered yours? I will.
What's
Be
going on,
open and
Aaron?
honest, right? I had a day that I was netting koi out, and that day turned into the day we started fiberglass in the pond. So
Yeah.
I covered the pond over and didn't do it. And purely because stuff was getting sanded and stuff, and I didn't want to, with all the loud noise and the dust in the air, I did not want to do it. So I fully covered the pond over and just left it to it and thought, I don't really want to disturb them at the time that I was. So unfortunately
no.
not. I would have loved to just put Leo's in there, but it is what it is. I show mine on YouTube every week, so they don't need to be up against anything. They're there to be appreciated.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll do it again next year. I think 430 fish. Like, I was surprised at how quick they got through it, because I was thinking this might be like a 10-hour judging session. Like, takes a bit of time, but they do go through it fairly quick. Not to say they rushed it, but like, hopefully we can do it again next year. Towards the end, there was a lot of entries, so it's got to like remain manageable for judging. And my online data storage thing is charging me a heck of a lot of money at the minute for saving all the video files on there. So yeah, I look forward to doing it again next year and see what we can do, because the judges were really excited about it, and they've already said they want to do it again next year. So that should be fun if we can do it every
I'm
year.
going to send you a late entry to see if you can think how it will have fared.
You should do.
Yeah. Although I am netting it out. My thing of me not the first year of the pond being heated and being fed as much as what it is. Like, there's no point. I've got no intention of disturbing them when it's smooth sailing.
Yeah, you do right.
You need to do this at like maybe 2 weeks later in the. I mean,
Just for you.
Hammer it right through the season.
I think if we did it again next year, it would be like end of November, because a lot of people said they've got like there'll be Nisai shipped into the UK at that point. Like, there'll be all people selling 2-year-old fish. So November might be a better time to do it, when the water's a bit colder in everybody's pond as well, so it's easier to net, and not during the summer season. So I think if we do it again next year, it'll be later on in the year. This time of year is not particularly
Be
great
good for
time.
conditioning as well, and plus there's got a lot of people that will be between shows.
Yeah.
So they might have a bit of stress in the pond through bringing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know there's people with multiple sets of fish in the ponds that do different shows. They have an A and a B team, but it's still a big stress factor just taking half the fish out the pond, taking them away for a few days, and then going and putting them back, and then taking the other half out. So doing it there would be great, and it'd give people a good chance to absolutely power through the food.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, koi shows are not going to replace online anytime soon. You have to see the fish swim. There's so much more that you see when you're in person. But I think the koi show online happened during the pandemic. And I know that like Kodama put up a koi show that was really fun to participate in. And, some great fish won. And I think that your event sounds really fun. I look forward to joining.
Yeah, it's like I say, that's the main thing. I did it for a bit of fun. A lot of people are very competitive, and sure, they'll probably want to enter to win it, but like, I would just love it if I entered my fish and then I go on the live stream and I'm like, oh my god, they just considered my fish, even if it's just a consideration thing.
Yeah.
That's just like, I don't know. There's something special about it. Like, I put a lot of ownership on trying to like understand what the Japanese think. I know a lot of people are not that way inclined. Like, they prefer to look at like what hobbyists think and what maybe people in their own country think. But I put a lot of precedent on what the Japanese think, because I think these are the creators of these creatures. Like, their opinion should be like utmost respected, if you know what I mean. Like, there's like a gravitas to it. So yeah, it was important for me to, if I was going to do anything, to try and get the Japanese. So. And
you do have Japanese judges, you say?
Yeah. So we've got Mariju, Shigeyoshi from Mariju, and we've got Eiji from Marichiku Koi Farm. So 2 farms, like one fairly big and one pretty up and coming. So different ends of the spectrum completely. So yeah.
I don't know who's one of us just got a sticker.
It was on mine.
It's always
well done.
Tie. I've never had a super sticker.
Evo, thank you.
Evo's
Nice.
just hit Ty up with a super sticker. So congrats. Thanks for watching, Evo.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Cool.
Have you? Is this Fish Fam Link? Is this something that you've set up, Ty?
It is, yeah.
I wonder if that's what's knocked your comments off.
No, I don't think that's what it was. I think I went back in and I changed some settings, and then everything started working again. So,
okay. Have you got chats now?
Oh, cool. Nice.
Hi, Ty's chat.
I know. I think it's all mixed together as far as I can see on my side. Yeah. Okay. Well,
It's all mixed together. That was what we tried to achieve.
Susan asked a question, Ty, about us in the United States, about being able to resell koi in our state on popular platforms. And I know that in Washington State, there's a lot of issues with the salmon population. And because of that, they have a lot of control over what fish can be sold. And I know that that's an issue for them. But in Idaho, I know that if you go to our Craigslist page, people are selling fish there. Just come, pick up my fish. Facebook has, practices that
Facebook, you have to be very careful with how you're wording things.
Yeah. But we definitely, I find homes for my fish sometimes that way. But if I'm selling, I'm always clearing out, to get the new fish in the pond. We only have so much space, so I try to maximize using my pond.
Mm-hmm.
And all my little tosai that might not make the show, I will find great homes for them. And a lot of them come back to the show through the people who buy from me. So, and I always lose money. So the IRS is listening. Do not make money on this at all. So yeah, but it's just, I love to experiment with tosai and I love to grow fish up. But I also really appreciate getting a nice finished fish too. If the fish is right, I will bite. So, but that's
I like that. If the fish is right, I will bite.
Yeah.
What's your favorite variety, Katey?
Oh man, I just love those gosanke versions, but I'm a bee fish lover. I think I really love a Genrin Matsukawabake right now. I think it's just the most fantastic fish. It's really, if you see a good one, there's something about a really beautiful head, those big black eyes, and a real balanced pattern, and a powerful fish. The really well-bred ones are very powerful, and I always gasp when I see one. I just think they're gorgeous. So it comes and goes. I really don't have a favorite. I love them all. But I've seen some impressive Matsukawabake recently that I've been, wow, I want one of those kind of feeling. But I just think bee fish are really fun. I really love the bee game. And I think it's overlooked by everyone chasing those trophies for the A fish.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to have the A fish game strong, but gosh, you cannot overlook those bee fish. They're really the spectacular, they're the colorful, they're the fun ones. They're just really a great hobby of mine to make sure my bee game's really strong.
Yeah.
So, how about you?
What about me? So probably Sankey is my favorite by a long shot. But just recently, I was watching an auction and I saw this shower in it, and it didn't sell. And for about 3 days, I thought I really like this shower, right? And I decided
This is a great story.
I decided at like 10 o'clock in the daytime to ring the shop. And the only person I'd told was Ty, because I thought Ty's safe because he can't go buy that fish in the UK. Right? So I'll ask Ty his opinion on the 3 that was in the auction that didn't sell. And I rung the dealer to find out that one of my friends was at the shop that's like a 5-hour drive from me. I was like, okay. And the person's wife was like, "Don't worry, Aaron Stevens here is looking at Sankey." I said, "Oh, it's not a Sankey I've actually seen. It's a shower." I said, "I don't have one." "Oh dear, Aaron, Stevens got a shower in the bowl." I was like, "No, he hasn't." Guess which shower it was? The only shower that I hadn't showed anybody that he picked out the pond.
You must have been a good fish. He picked it up.
Cheers, Marcus. I nearly cried for the rest of the day at work. It was a lovely certified Dainichi shower, and I was gobsmacked in the auction. I was just sat back, and I've said for the full time I'm building a pond, I'm not buying any fish. I don't want to buy it and put it into my temporary pond. I was like, I can't believe this hasn't sold. And yeah, but I shouldn't be looking, but he's got a nice Beppo Sankey as well that he hasn't messaged me the price of that I asked him about 2 hours ago. Hint, Marcus.
Well, you know what the saying is: you snooze, you lose, Aaron.
Do you know what? Do you know the more annoying thing is? I'll tell you the reason why I snoozed, right? Because I wanted two people's opinion. I wanted Ty's and my dad's, right? And my dad messaged me back at about 1 minute to 10 the next day. And then I rung Marcus. I had Ty's opinion. And Ty picked it as his second choice, but I just overruled him. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, show are, I think, my favorite variety. And I do think it's because they're such a gambling fish. Just how much that sumi can change and there's I don't know why that's the fish I like. The fish that's like more challenging to or I guess more unpredictable what might happen with it. But I think that's just what makes them really interesting to me. So I
don't know if I've got a picture of the Beppu one, but I'd never even heard of him before. And when I first started looking at Sankey, I did speak to Joe, and he sent me one. And ever since then, I've been looking at them, and there's another breed, but I'm not quite certain. That in fact, I'll pass it over to Ty. Ty, can you remember what they're called, Dave Sankey? Go on.
Suetsugu.
Oh, Suetsugu.
That's it, Suetsugu.
Yeah.
And it seems after reading a couple of magazines, and a couple of articles, that they seem to be steering in the right direction as well. I mean, Dave's is one of the ones that if I could have taken any koi away that day, not because I know him, because it's exactly the style that I would have bought myself. That would have been the one from that show. And his pond, to be fair, when I was netting it up in the morning, I was like, yeah, that's absolutely incredible.
Well, I can't say too much. In fact, I won't say anything at all. That's I've probably given it away a little bit too much there, but Dave Sankey has done all right in the Japanese by the Japanese judges, so we'll leave it at that. Because the same fish that went to the Great British was in my Digital Koi Show, so it's done pretty well. So yeah, I remember that fish actually when they bought it at Suetsugu, because it was like it was really like stand out. Subo, like their lineage is like really old school Sankey. Like, I'm not a big lover of Sankey that look like they've come from Showa spawnings. It's just not my cup of tea, whereas you're seeing them more and more now. But I love like really old school. I think a Sankey, when you look at a Sankey, like my definition of a Sankey is a Sankey should be feminine in the way that it looks. I might get cancelled for this. So yeah, but a Sankey should look feminine, like quite delicate almost, right? That's my perception. And a Showa should look like imposing, like quite masculine. That's the way that I feel about them two varieties. Now, I'm not trying to stereotype women as delicate.
No, now I'm just so curious what your take on Kohaku is.
Anything that comes out of Joe's mouth is a pure representation of the Koi Perspective magazine's Shalom Lock Man and Ties.
You told me what happens in Koi Pit stays in Koi Pit.
Yeah, right.
But no,
I think you're right. No, I agree with you. Showa are impressive. They have those big shoulders, and they definitely feel like, and all the heavy sumi. To me, that feels like a more masculine type fish. It really does. I agree with you. And I think the delicacy of the sumi, like you were mentioning, Subo sumi, it's dainty. It should be where it's supposed to be. Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
the woman was not offended by what you just said. So
fantastic.
Yes.
Do you know what's mad, Joe? Like when you look at it like that, I did the video at Wakefield Koi about 8 months ago where we had 5 shower in a bowl, and the one that I liked the most was the one that looked like a Sankey. You know what I mean? It's just my taste. I was like, yeah, I like that one the most.
Yeah. But you got to buy what you like. You can't buy something that you look at and then you just like don't like it all year round. Like you can't buy to other people's tastes either.
Right.
Like I think there's a lot of people out there that buy based on what other people would buy. I really, if I so like in my preconceived notion about like what is good in Kahaku is that good Kahakus always tend to be like one step or two step or three step, or like you might get a single step Inazuma style pattern. But like I really love ones that could have like 9 dans and they're really flowery and pattern. You know, they got a really crazy pattern, a lot of
Sakura.
intricacy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like I would sacrifice body shape for like a Sakura style Kahaku. That's my taste. So say I look at it in the way that if you've got like multiple different dans of Benny, but they look amazing and they've got nice refinement, that to me is more complex than getting a 2-step Kahaku with a good body shape. Like to breed it and to create it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think.
I feel like you might be opposite, or
Well, when you were looking at a fish as a judge, 40% of your weight is on conformation in the body, and that should carry well over pattern, which will be what we're talking about. And so I think when you're choosing for pattern, you're choosing a fish that's going to please your eye. And I think, that you should definitely have room in your pond for that. But as far as what are you going to do? What's your goal with that fish? So I think that is the balance. What's your dream for? Because I've seen fish with absolutely like that pattern does not make sense to me. And that fish wins because the body, the size is fantastic. And that's where the points are. So if you're buying to look at your fish, then, of course you want that combination of the great pattern and the simplicity of the simple steps. The 3 dan step is, that's hard to beat. But there's little refinement things in everything. So if you like it, I mean, I like the creative artistic patterns now because people are taking more risk. They're not just going with the stepping stone pattern. We're seeing a lot of Benny that slides, wraps around the body, real deep Benny, and Benny that challenges the idea that it can't touch the eyes.
Yeah.
You might have seen a lot of that coming up.
I love when the Benny is just on one side and it just kind of like wraps just down, it's just touching the eye or just barely below.
Yeah, there's room for it.
Aaron, can I send you a picture of a koi for Kathy's opinion?
I'm just literally sorting it out so I can try and bring stuff up because I've had a couple of people send me a message saying, please show Leo's Tancho. So I was just trying.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to make it happen.
All right, Katey. I didn't know you were going to be judging koi today, but
oh, how fun! It's my favorite thing.
I've got so many windows open now. I'll just give me 2 minutes.
No worries. Yeah, I've got a fish that like always has been like my number one fish of all time, and it just for me defines like I say, part of me just sometimes I think now the more I get into it, and it's less about like appreciating that the full thing. I appreciate maybe the complexity of breeding that kind of pattern because
oh my gosh.
What?
There's a huge hawk that just landed right next to my pond.
Oh wow! Is it
I
an
don't know.
osprey? Yeah, you better make sure an osprey.
Can you guys see that?
Let's see.
Oh wait a minute.
It's so there's where the spillways are.
Oh my word! Yeah, we can see that.
Huh.
It's looking for some dinner.
Yeah, it might.
Yeah,
be.
I feel like I need to go step out there really quick.
Yeah,
hold on.
chase that guy away.
Is this where we watch Ty get devoured by a hawk?
Oh, very
I think I have to.
Yeah, I have a friend who has to put a net over for the osprey. He'll come in
Wow.
and dive bomb and take your big fish out. Good job, Ty.
That's actually why I have a roof over the top, is to help
Yeah.
that not be as easy of a thing to do.
Oh, there's some
That
beautiful.
was wild. I've never seen a hawk. I've seen hawks around. I've never seen one land on the pond before.
Is this
Yeah.
the one, Joe?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
I think that's the best fish I've ever like seen in the flesh.
Nice.
And I've seen some like Hiroshima Grand Champions that like from Sakai and things like that. That was actually produced by Marichiku Koi Farm in the south.
Wow.
And yeah, like a really kind of old bloodline, but he's like notorious for like crazy patterns. But do you know like the famous painting where it's like Hand of God, where like the fingers nearly touch? I think that head pattern is like almost like that a little
exactly
bit.
what that is like.
I kind of love it just
fun.
for the tweaks, and also like it has shiroji all the way down the dorsal as well. So
Yeah,
the Benny
beautiful.
doesn't bleed in at all.
Yeah, that's a real crisp, really interesting pattern. That's a beautiful fish. But the body on that fish is just lights out.
Yeah.
It's all about the combination of that. You got to have the quality of the Benny and the sashi and kiwa all working together. It's hard to get a really perfect fish. It really is. And can maintain it till it gets to that size. That's what I think is hard. We get these smaller fish and we think, oh, it's going to be that.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot to get a fish like that. You have to really have a strong plan to get your fish that big and that clean. A lot of water bills is what that takes.
Yes, yeah. How expensive is water in America? Do you get
it depends where you live, but where we live in the high desert. Me and Katey both do in Idaho and Utah. Water's, I think, more expensive out here.
Do you get monitored then? Like how much you use, like pay per the amount of gallons?
Yep, it's definitely monitored on gallons. And I pay in the winter, believe it or not, because I still do a flow through in a heated system. It's I pay sometimes close to $400 a month for water.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I've changed my heating system. I hope it's not that much this year, but it's not cheap. Yeah, water and heat are very expensive. That's a beautiful asagi. Who are we looking at?
Show that's coming up in a minute.
That asagi is 2.
Is it?
Oh, beautiful.
It's what is it?
Nice.
64 cm.
Yeah, nice.
Finger you divvy. It's aggressive, isn't
yes. You lose a finger.
Yeah, it's it has no chill, that shag. You literally just grab your finger and just check it.
That's
Sarah's absolutely in love with your chagoy, Aaron.
It's just super friendly into anyone that you just give food that's never fed. It's just straight up there.
Well, it's the color that she loves so much, actually. It's that like reddish burgundy kind of.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, that's what she was so into.
Do you know what?
Beautiful.
It's funny because you know what that chag's name was? It was Tangerine, right? And in its winter color is it changes. What color does it change to, Nick? Like a real. I'm colorblind, by the way.
Huh?
A real bright orange in the winter, and then goes super dark in the.
See, is that a sign that it's got like Ochiba in it? Because I would say that that's like a sign that it's come from like an Ochiba spawning or something like that.
It's
I agree.
Marihiro, I think.
Yeah, so it could well possibly be from Ochiba spawning. I think you'd still say it's chagoy, but I think that's like Ochiba coloration, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like would it be potentially like the Achiba version of like a benigoi, where the actual beni is like covered the entire
Mhm.
fish? You know, like from Kahaka, you get benigoi. From like an Achiba, it's like the whole pattern is over the whole thing. It could well be.
Sometimes that color definitely resembles Chiba Shigure more than just like a
Yeah, I mean, to be
copper
fair,
straw. Yeah.
like this shit. So when we moved all the koi into this swimming pool, there was really skittish. Like they'd never seen people walking along the side before. When obviously
Oh, yeah.
footsteps and loud, and there was darting off.
Mhm.
And that shag has got near enough all of them eating out the hand. Now there was the Deutsch Sankey that you saw there. That was the scaredest fish in the pond, and that took some out my hand the other day. So there was the catch-22 situation where they're all getting really well, really tame. I didn't really want to start individually pulling a few out, and then in the fiberglass they messaged me to say, "Can we come and finish off? Get it all nailed down?" I was like, "Right." I had already pre-planned that I was going to do it on the last day because I thought I could nearly get the Asage to the end of a SARS category because I was thinking I can push this when I was working it out with Ty at the show, and I thought, nah, I've got another 2 weeks of heavy feeding here. I can probably hit the top of the SARS category.
It's like wrestling. Push it.
So
Oh, good for you.
So, Katey, how much water changes do you do to justify $400 a month? Like, what percentage of your pond volume do you change for that?
So I do
Per week.
10% daily, and I have a flow through. So it's a constant trickle in and out. And I water my garden and my side yard with all of the,
Yeah.
and I have an RDF filter that
Mhm.
constantly does the cleaning cycle and shoots it out to my garden. And so I have to offset that, so that water's crystal. I keep lots and lots of fresh water going in. And like I mentioned before, I'm in a little city within a city, and Garden City's water quality is great. They don't put chloramine in at all. And so it's a really low chlorine. And the amount I drop in from a high point, it has a lot of disbursement when it hits. Not quite spray bar, but it's a spray.
Yeah,
And so I never have to worry about metals and things like that. I put a lot of koi clay in there too, but
yeah.
it's also just that flow through. And sometimes I flow it through a little more aggressively on this summer, but yeah, it's always flowing.
So
me
that's
and
like
Joe, me and Joe can't do that with our water.
Yeah.
If yours is as good as yours is, imagine the worst you can possibly think of, and that's where me and Joe live, Yorkshire water.
So
You think I'm joking? I'm being deadly serious.
Oh, no.
So in the UK, the water that is supplied to us is supplied by like private companies. So they
Oh,
all,
wow.
yeah, so it's like private companies that are like paid a lot of money to like produce water. So they produce it to the absolute minimum standard they can.
Oh, wow. Mhm.
So like they're supposed to supply the water at an average of pH 7.5. Last year, they used carbon dioxide to bring the pH down temporarily. So officially, they're supplying 7.5. But after it's been in the pond for like 1 hour, it starts to like go up to like 9. I think I got it at 9.2 out the tap.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, it's crazy.
Hot water. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, we have super high pH here too.
Yeah.
Well, this might blow everybody's mind. So on the pond tour a few years ago, we had a gentleman up in he's probably like an hour north of me, and my mind was just blown when I walked into his backyard because he has a natural spring in his yard.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's on his property that flows out of it like into like some farmland stuff. And he doesn't have a filtration system on his koi pond because it's just a natural like water source that's coming into it,
That's crazy.
which I thought was wild.
I would be doing like 100% water changes a week if I had that type of water just constantly coming. Like,
kind of what mine does. Yeah. But at the same time, I also know that there's a lot of waste. The waste doesn't fly off the top. So those bottom drains, give the filter worked out, and I feed super heavy.
Yeah.
So I'm always, pounds of food a day. So it's
he did have some pumps and things. He had some stuff that was going on, but not a filtration system like what you'd usually think of. In the flow, like how much water was coming onto his property and out of it, it was probably equivalent to one of the spillways I have on my pond. Like that's how much water was being fed off of there.
Wow, that's wild. That's crazy.
It was probably like 15,000 gallons, his pond. It's huge.
That's some turnover.
But it gives the koi an illusion that they're in a bigger water board.
Right.
Because the water, and I think that in England we say 10% water changes per week is what you have to do, 10% a week. But I actually am starting to wonder now, like there's certain things that the fish excrete as well. That like it's not necessarily about what we're filtering before it enters the pond. It's actually when it's in. And a lot of people say, oh, you don't need to do any changes. And I don't think you do if you're maybe raising tosai from like 20 to 45 cm. But I think when you get fish up past 75 cm level, I think you need more water changes. That's something I'm starting to like learn about now. I think you need.
So the fish produce a pheromone that tells them the space is taken up. Like stop growing. And one of the tricks to raising big fish in small water is to rinse out that pheromone. So if you wash that away, the fish don't get the signal to slow down their growth to accommodate their space or how many fish are in there. And that is how a lot of people trick fish to grow big is that pheromone. If you get rid of that, it's going to trick the fish.
Yeah. I think we need to create a product that removes this pheromone, because I don't think we need. It's not like the fresh water. It's like more removing. If we could remove that, I think it'd be a lot easier. But yeah, definitely. And I think somebody told me that male fish excrete a hormone that prevents female fish from growing, or something like that, and then. Also, females excrete a hormone that maybe stops males from growing or something. I might be completely wrong.
You know what, Katey? Wes at Cott's Koi at the All-American show this last March was telling me something about this, actually.
Oh, yeah. He has great info. He's always, about
he
the pheromones?
Yeah, about even when the fish are really young, if it's a crowded space, they're going to the spawn is going to have less females, just because they have not actually developed in like the gonads like their like sex yet. And so I don't know what he was explaining. It sounded kind of like clownfish, how they can change, but it's something that only happens in like the very early stages of their life. So if it's a very crowded area, there's going to be less females.
Interesting.
Wow.
That's
super side tangent, but
we're talking probably embryonic development, or are you saying tosai? Because I think
he was saying when they're still like fry.
Yeah. Okay. Very, very small. Okay. That's very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's so much research being done, and that's another good reason to talk to your dealers and your people who are like visiting dealers and finding out latest, greatest, and theories. Like there's lots of different tricks you can, run by your fish that might produce greater size, greater conditioning. And, the idea of feeding Benny is really interesting to me. So you have to preserve your whites, but if you don't give your fish the right nutrition, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced Benny loss. It's, brutal. It's really sad when you have a beautiful fish and all the Benny goes away. And a lot of people say, oh, it's the breeder, the type. If it's a Dainichi, they'll stick. Well, I've had a lot of nice Beccos that came from some pretty nice Sankes. that Benny was lost. And I think it really depends on what you're doing with your water quality.
Yeah, 100%. I think a lot of it can be dependent on how much sunlight as well. Like,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
I think sunlight has a big part to play, and I don't think anybody's quite found a way to around that either. Like,
Yeah.
I can always tell a fish that's raised indoors personally.
Hmm.
Easy to spot, I think.
And if they're in a dealer inside, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And then they come out, they definitely have a whole different Benny presentation.
So, sorry, really quick, because I saw Aaron put it back up. The Idaho Water Garden and Koi Society, their koi show up in Boise is next weekend. It's next Saturday. So if you are in Idaho or like me in a state where it's not too far of a drive, I'm just in Salt Lake City. I'm going next weekend. If you can make it to that show, it's going to be good. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Yeah, we're very excited to have you up there.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a party.
Yes. We might get a mechanical bull for you. It's going to get great.
And
I would
also,
pay to see that.
and also not forgetting, Joe, tomorrow,
thank you.
the Koi
Yes.
Perspective Live, 6 p.m. UK time. I don't know what time is it your time, Ty? 6 p.m. What time did you jump on the live?
6 p.m. is 11 a.m. Standard Mountain Time. So that would be 12 o'clock. It would be noon Central Standard Time in the U.S.
Noon Central. Okay.
So if you want to see some really cool fish, I know a few of my friends have entered some absolute bangers in there. Hop on and see people's fish that wouldn't normally go to a koi show. Maybe people don't drive for one reason or another, judged by Japanese judges. I can't wait to see it personally. So,
and it's live. What could go wrong? Oh, damn it. I shouldn't have said that.
well, guys, we are going to have to draw a line in the sand because I'm definitely not going to run over.
Yeah, we don't want to go over. Yeah.
Another live starts in 3 minutes. So if anyone wants to catch us, I'll more than likely make an appearance on Twisted Koi's Live with no break.
I just want to say, I think Katey should create a YouTube channel. I really want to see Katey's pond now. So
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I might pick your brains for some help with that, guys.
yeah,
You know what? If you ever want to display it and you want to come on here again on a live and talk about it, film us a video. We can put a video of your pond and we can chat about it. That'd be really good to see. Because I'd love to see somebody that changes that much water in a day. I'd love to see the pond and the fish. So,
well, here's a question, Katey, because I'm going to be up there.
Mm-hmm.
I do think we're going to end up staying the night. Originally, I was planning on driving up, then driving all the way back down.
Oh, yeah, definitely spend the night. Yeah.
Yeah, me and Robert, we're going to get a hotel. But if I don't know what the breakdown situation looks like how busy you'd be that Sunday, but if we swung by that morning, would you be open to me coming and doing a video about your pond?
We can make that happen. You bet.
I just realized I shouldn't be asking you this on a live stream and putting it.
that is so tight, Ty. Like I can't believe
try to
you
make
just
sure it's
shamed her
always
into letting you go to her house.
Like, oh my god, no. I try to make sure it's always visitor friendly. So yes,
Okay.
No, for sure.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Cool.
Thanks, guys, for having me on.
Well, thanks for having me on, you guys. This has been really fun.
Oh, thank you so much. No,
And
this
for
has
anyone
been
in
awesome.
the UK, there's Ty's channel. Give you a second to scan that. Thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate everybody tuning in, and to both of our guests, Joe and Katey.
Absolutely.
See you later.
Guys.
See you later.
Bye.
And so the stream trickles to a close. You've listened, you've learned, you've watched Ty try to pronounce Japanese words again. We've cast our net, and today, it pulled up something valuable. Knowledge, insight, maybe even a few controversial filter opinions. To our guest, thank you for diving in. To the audience, thank you for splashing around with us. And to Aaron, Well, thank you for keeping this thing from sinking completely. Remember, the pond never sleeps, and neither does curiosity. So until next time, keep your nets ready, your test kits handy, and whatever you do, don't ask about stocking levels in the comments. This has been Hold My Net.